Hey, people of hope. I'm Pastor Mike Toomey, and I want to thank you for watching this devotion today. Pastor Paul on Sunday spoke about endurance, spiritual endurance. What's going to give you and me the spiritual endurance that we need to run this race that is set before us? Because a lot of us went into this thinking it was more like a sprint, but it's looking much more like a long distance race, like a marathon or maybe an ultra marathon at that. And thinking back to when I was doing long distance racing, one of the things that I learned that gave me endurance was properly fueling my body while I was racing, while I was doing the race itself. And I learned that the hard way. You see, the first time I did a long distance race, a triathlon, it didn't end as well as I wanted it to. I finished, but didn't end as well as I wanted to because I didn't properly fuel my body along the way. It's the same thing with our souls right now. How are you properly fueling your soul? How are you properly feeding your soul along this race so that you have the endurance to run and cross the finish line? In 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2, it begins to say something along this line, that just as infants crave milk, we need to crave pure spiritual milk. In other words, what we need to do is put aside the junk. We need to put aside malice and anger, all of those vices that begin to suck and drain energy and life right out of our soul. And what we need to be putting into our soul is the very gospel itself. I think there are some really clear things to do. And one, if you're watching this devotional, you're doing it already. You're feeding your soul. But also get into God's Word. Instead of starting off with Facebook and the news, start off with a devotion in God's Word. Join us in worship. Whether that online, of course, but join us in worship. And then think outside yourself and find ways to love and serve your neighbors. Hey, one of those things that we got going on right now is a way to help the Great Plains Food Bank. You can find that on our webpage, www.fargohope.org. Feed your soul so that you have the endurance to complete the race. God bless you. Hope to see you soon.